I'm just gonna label it as sex noises, just generally speaking.
It's a very creative name.
Yeah.
I was expecting a little bit more.
Sorry. I was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that was very anticlimactic.
Sure.
But I'm gonna label it sex noises because it starts off with me going, yeah. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Cameraman Show. My name's Karthik.
I'm Manav.
And in this podcast, we talk about all things cameras, weddings, and business. We've been talking about starting a podcast for a while. And
It's finally happening.
It's finally happening. Yeah. We'll document more of this journey in terms of how we got here later on. But in today's episode, we're going to just dive straight in, just add as much value because that's what we're all about here. And the first topic of today's episode is how we make couples laugh. And we thought whether you're a photographer or whether you're, a bride and groom, this segment is probably going to be appealing, hopefully. If you don't laugh, then that's okay.
Then we'll probably stop doing this in another week from now.
We'll just reassess and just maybe
we'll
just not do
reassess our
this.
life choices.
Hopefully you guys walk away with a bit of value. But to start things off, why do you think it's important that we make couples laugh?
I think one of the most important things is to be relaxed on your wedding day. And the amount of times I walked into bride prep in the morning and just seen just chaos. Like everyone's just, shouting at each other. It is a very stressful day to be...
Especially if you're capturing South Asian weddings, which is what we do.
Yeah. You got like aunties yelling, you got everyone. And it always sounds like they're having a fight in the morning when they're talking, but it's, that's just how it is in that language.
100%.
But I think one of the most important things to make sure that you make couples laugh on the wedding day is to just relax them, because I think it just sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Even when it comes to, say, taking it back, right? The pre-wedding photo shoot, which is the first interaction that you and I would probably have with our clients before it leads up to their wedding day. And, in that time, I always suss out like how serious people are. Because you're going to get a feeler for, yes, I agree that some people are probably a little bit nervous, right? Like they're about, we haven't done this shit before. We don't really know. And I'm like, that's all right. That's where we come in. And we guide them through that process. But the reason as to why it's like, why making people comfortable is so important is because like, that's going to show in your photos, right?
Yep.
And do you get couples who are like, oh, we hate the posy stuff? Like we hate
all the time. All the time. You get a lot of couples who are like, oh, we're not confident in front of the camera. We are, very awkward. I do tell them normally, like, look, I'll direct you to a certain amount. But my style is generally more candid, more just like, just have fun, just capture it how it is. But I do definitely direct a lot of couples.
Yeah.
But the way I'll direct them, it will be like in a way that it's not like really awkward directing. Like, so it still looks candid, but you're kind of directing them in that way. So
the first thing I know that we always tend to do, we've shot alongside each other for a few years now, is the walk and talk, right? It's just to give viewers a bit of context as to what the walk and talk is. You're with your partner and you're holding hands and you're walking 5 to 10 meters and you're swinging that shit. When I mean that shit, your hands, and you're just looking at each other and having conversation. And one could argue that that's a structured thing. But is it really? Because it's like something you would normally really do, and you're having fun whilst doing it.
I think that's a good icebreaker, just as a first shot, because they have no idea what they're expecting from us or vice versa. When we meet for the first time, I think it's good to just get that walk and talk out of the way, because that just breaks the ice, relaxes them a little bit, and then from there on you can go into more of those poses where you kind of need them to be more like relaxed.
Yeah, correct.
Chill.
Yeah, correct. It's funny because I always say to the couple, like on their pre-wedding photo shoot, that the first 5 minutes is always going to be the hardest because like you don't know it's like stepping into a gym for the first time, right? You don't know what the F you're doing, right? It's just like someone tells you to go do a squat. You're like, am I doing it right? Is my technique right? You don't really know. A pre-shoot's the exact same, right? A pre-wedding session or engagement session is the exact same thing. A couple, most likely, if they didn't get photos done on, say, their proposal, are walking into a pre-wedding shoot going, like, we've never done this shit before. So the reasons to why I thought this episode would be really good is because we're going to talk about ways in which Manav and I make our couples laugh on the day. Now, there are some wedding days and photo shoot sessions where we overlap in our clients, so we get to naturally take the piss, and we'll go into how that really works out in a bit. But then there are shoots that obviously we do individually for our own respective businesses. But Manav, why don't you just start off with your first point. I'm looking at you and I'm laughing already because I know there's going to be some messed up shit that we're going to be saying in this podcast.
No, look, the main one I always go to is just like, hey, you guys just looking at each other, laughing, ha ha ha, just do your little, if you just make a little bit of weird noises or whatever, it usually works out.
It usually works out.
I mean, I've had some when I've done that and they're just like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Like questioning everything.
You get like that stare back and you're like,
They're like, this is the guy we're spending $10,000 with.
And that's the point when they're like, oh, did we just fuck up?
Yeah, like it was at this moment that we knew that we fucked up. yeah.
But most of the time, it's just like, just laugh, smile, do a bit of ha ha ha, holding hands, just walk towards each other, like, walk towards us and that kind of stuff. So usually that works out. And that kind of also sets like the how they react to that also gives me feedback how further I can push this.
Yeah, you know what it is? You know what it is? Like, imagine, doing the standard stuff that we normally would do, right? And if that's not received well, that for me means that, okay, either one or two things is happening. Either one, I'm not funny enough. Or two.
Which you're not.
Oh, bro. Thanks. Or two, these guys are either very dry or they're just very shy, right? Or three, maybe they're like an arranged married couple.
Not gonna lie, like I've been with you when you've done some shit, right? And couple has responded like in a really like negative way with it, where they like haven't laughed or whatever.
Sounds about right.
You're saying now that you take feedback, but you don't, bro. You don't take any feedback. You just keep going on.
It's not. I laugh.
You just push that shit to the next level. To a point where sometimes I have to tell them, bro. I go up to him like, Karthik, calm down, all right? Just relax a little bit, all right? You need to calm down.
You know what it is? I would much rather someone in that group have fun than no one have fun at all. Because if I'm a couple and say I'm not laughing at the joke, but they're having fun, oh, okay, well maybe they get chucked the piss out. Freaking they have a fun time out of it. Yeah. Fair enough. But okay, so you're saying looking at each other, ha 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 ha, and you exaggerate the ha 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 ha.
Yeah. I do that a lot
all the time. Actually,
I've heard you. Sometimes it probably gets annoying.
It's questionable. Yeah, it's questionable. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know what your one is.
Okay, so I feel like, just to context, and first of all, Mum, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure your mum already knows.
No, I don't think she does. She's got to get a reality check.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I actually don't even know where this technique came from, and it's a very powerful technique.
I think it's from you being single. This is what happens, guys, when you're single, all right? And your mind starts wandering off, doing weird shit.
Okay, so, Mum, I'm sorry. But basically, I don't know where this came from. I actually don't even know the first couple I started doing this on. But
the way you're talking is like you're like fucking.
Oh, it sounds like, really bad.
Yeah, I'm doing something on a couple. Like, what?
No, it's not. It's proper. All right. We're all about proper shit.
You're professional.
Yeah, professional. Fucking none of this weird shit.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't know how it happened, but I'm gonna label this technique. I should give it a name. I should give it a formal name.
Go on.
Well, we're talking about it as a point. We should. I'm just gonna label it as sex noises, just generally speaking.
It's a very creative name. I was expecting a little bit more.
Sorry. I was thinking about it. I'm like, that was very anticlimactic.
Sure.
But I'm gonna label it sex noises because it starts off with me going, yeah.
And the brides that have shown with him know exactly what he's talking about.
I can promise you right now, hopefully most of these brides are going, we know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Fuck, this guy is so weird. But if I made you laugh, then obviously did something. Did it not? I mean,
sure. Whatever makes you sleep at night.
So basically, it'll start off with me going, oh, yeah. But
imagine someone just walking in, someone listening to this podcast, and then the parent walk in, just right when you say, oh, yeah.
I think I remember where I saw this. It was a guy on TikTok or Reels or whatever at the supermarket going up to people in their ear and going,
oh, yes.
And he literally be like,
yeah. Oh, makes sense now. Yeah.
Like, just like moaning
really
and
awkward.
Shit, really weird.
Yeah.
And then some random people turn around and be like, like, and they're startled and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like probably this distance from, say, the couple, maybe a little bit further, and it's quiet.
You like to get up and close.
Yeah, I'm very close to the action.
Make couples uncomfortable.
Yeah. 16 millimeter.
Yeah.
For any non-photographers knowing what that means, don't worry about it. But basically, photographers, you know what it means.
Yeah.
All up right in their face. Basically, this distance, and everyone's silent. the scenery that we're at's probably silent.
Yeah.
The couple of
Especially when you do those like really close,
It's
up
like-
close, like no, you know when you do those really up close shots of the mouth and stuff, when you're like right in there.
oh right,
I've
and you just
seen
get
you
the-
do
you
this
see me do that
shit
shit. Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're
yeah.
literally right up in there.
Yeah. Like I get,
yeah.
but when I do it, everyone's silent, and it's like,
Hits better.
yeah,
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. And how does this normally come off? Does this usually work or?
I don't know,
yeah.
and I don't think anyone's going to ever give me genuine feedback.
Yeah,
like no one will
like
ever tell me.
they could just be laughing in the moment, but in the head they're thinking like,
yeah, they could be
"Oh,
laughing
fuck
at
is
me or
wrong
with
this
me.
guy?"
Yeah. But look, my objective there is to get the shot.
Yeah.
So if they're laughing, which 9 times out of 10 they hopefully do, I get the shot.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm happy to make myself look like an idiot with
Clearly.
have zero dignity.
Yeah.
But if it gets the shot, it gets
If
the
it
shot.
gets a shot, it gets a shot.
Then it progresses from there. Like it goes a little bit further. Like then I start licking my lips and I'm like,
I really feel sorry for the people that are listening to this on audio.
do you reckon this audio is like? Do you reckon this audio is like ASMR? Like,
Yeah, pretty much. All right, calm down.
All right,
calm
sorry.
down.
But basically, I start making a bit more noises. Then it
Mm.
goes into like, right there, right there, right there. Yeah. And I start talking like this. I can't
I've
take
seen
you
this shit
seriously.
so many times that like, you know.
But don't
I'm
give
like,
me shit for it because now you do it too.
No,
Now
I
you
don't do it, bro. I don't do it to
No,
that
no,
level.
no, no,
I do not.
swear to God.
I never
I
do.
swear to
Yeah, right
Jesus.
there, right there. I never do that shit. I never do that shit, right?
I'm pretty confident, viewers, that Manav has also been adopting his variation of this.
No.
And you start literally going to brides. You're like, oh, think of your partner. Yeah. And you reference the groom's name. I know you have. I know you have.
I don't agree. I have never taken part in this kind of
Fuck yourself. You
this type of
definitely have.
behavior. I don't know what this guy's talking about, all right? But basically, this is just his shenanigans. And anyone that's like shot with him, they know.
You know what's weird? Because we shoot a lot with each other, and that's fine. But I've done this shit for people that I've never shot with, and they actually think something's wrong.
I'm not surprised, right?
Like they'll look at me,
Yeah.
and they won't expect it.
Yeah.
They'd be like, "The fuck did you just do?" and I realize that, oh shit, it's not Manav,
Yeah,
it's somebody
yeah,
else,
yeah, yeah,
and it catches me off surprise because I'm like, oh bro, this is
so
bad.
sorry, man.
This
So sorry.
yeah, and with
Yeah.
zero context.
Look, the most I've done is more like, just whisper something into your partner's ear when
yeah.
I'm taking the shot.
Yeah.
And just make sure it's like PG rated, stuff like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I do not go down to your levels, bro. That is just some next level shit, right?
Look, safe
You know
to say,
when okay, think about this. Forget about the couple.
Mm.
When I'm shooting with you, I'm embarrassed. And I'm not even the
not
couple.
only that, I'm pretty sure random pedestrians walking
Yeah.
on the street that turn around.
Actually, we've had some pretty funny.
We've had some weird
people
ones.
just laughing.
I think I was at a park once and I was moaning
Yeah.
badly.
Yeah, yeah.
And I make it a point to make people know that I'm moaning. Like that's my
Yeah.
like prerogative there. And then random pedestrians will just look at me and just question should they remove their child from that scene,
Mm.
which seems like a good
Might
idea.
have to cut this out. Now you say that you fucking do this shit in front of children?
sorry. That's no. If they happen to be there,
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it just happens to somehow.
But it always happens when people are over 18.
Yeah. Oh, correct.
Never
Only-
under.
no, never under. Never under.
Never under. Yeah,
But the whisper into the ear thing is a good one.
Mm.
And I remember I was at a time, I was at Sydney Uni. Shout out to Sydney Uni. And it's quiet when it's off peak season, right? When I go to the guy, I'm like, oh, hey, just whisper into your partner's ear, you know, and he'll get it nice and close. It's very intimate. And I think they thought that I couldn't hear them,
Okay.
which makes the following all the more worse.
No.
Yeah.
What did they say?
So he said something to her. And I just, my face was like, that's
Okay.
interesting.
What did he say?
And then she's like, stop it. No,
Okay.
stop it. And then they both happened to turn to me. And they looked at me. They're like, because they saw I was shocked, right?
Yeah.
And then she's like, you didn't hear that, did you?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I did.
What did he say?
And then the guy just like puts his hand to his face like he's embarrassed because, yeah, perhaps he maybe should be.
Yep.
And he said, and I quote, the shit that I'm going to do to you tonight.
Ooh.
Yeah, it got a bit raunchy.
Damn.
And that's why she's giggling, right? And I was like,
Mm.
oh, stop it.
Mhm.
But then I'm like, oh, okay. Usually when we do that, we don't hear what these things are. When we're like,
yeah. Because you're like at least like a few meters away from
Yeah.
the couple and stuff. Yeah.
have you heard anyone when you like whisper to the?
I mean, I've just heard like just the normal like some groom will just be like, pss, pss, pss,
Yeah,
in the
they'll
ear and
literally
stuff.
make like whisper
just whisper noises or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him. It's a bit random to come up just
Oh, the other variation to this strategy I've heard is like whisper your a grocery item list that you always buy in the most sexiest way possible, like
full cream milk,
Colgate, yeah,
yes, kitty litter,
bro. I mean, if you can make it sound sexy, then yeah, sure. All right. If anything goes, it goes. But there's an extra one to that, which I think you've seen me do. Right, when it comes to the whisper into the ear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just nibble on the ear a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, most people don't.
Mind
do
you, these techniques sound very bad.
They're
we're talking about it right now, but they actually, you get like 6 shots.
You know what?
Using these.
You know what? F you guys. You're probably looking at us going, what the f do we know? What a bunch of weird people. I'll encourage you to look at our content at some point, get the candid shit. And then you'll be like, oh, that's such a beautiful photo. Yeah. Little do you guys know the amount of like stupid shit that we did behind the scenes just to get that reaction. Yeah. But it all pays off, right? Yeah. But yeah, so an adaptation to that would be, whilst you're there, just like nibble your partner's ear. And most guys will be like, oh, it's a bit weird. But then they'll do it anyways because they're into that kinky shit. And then the brides would be like just weirdly twitching and shit. But then some of them I reckon might like it. I reckon we teach some couples some like BTS, like very good stuff for later on.
Sure.
Yeah? No? Okay. Let's go to the other points in terms of what we had written down.
Yeah.
So notice how everything that we have in terms of ideas has to do with like being obviously very close in proximity. Whisper into the ear, biting the ear. So I think you've seen me do this one. And this is like for 10 seconds, how I explain it is for 10 seconds, and I usually instruct the groom because this works on the groom to do for the bride. I need you to smell your partner for 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen me do this one, right? Yeah. And I know it sounds weird. If
you guys notice there's like a trend here. All the weird shit that we're talking about only comes from this guy. Yeah. And all the normal shit comes from me. Yeah. Just want you to keep that in mind.
Listen, if you run a 6-figure business, you'll understand. You get to 6 figures by doing shit like this, all right? Anyways.
I mean, sure. You also get to 6 figures by being Harvey Weinstein, but that's not the point. Even more, that's like 7 figures.
That's also very true.
Yeah.
Okay, but going back to that technique, so I would just be like, go to the groom and I'll be like, okay, so for 10 seconds, I want you to smell your partner. And they'll be like, well, that's a bit weird. And I'm like, no. Like grab her in and bring, like, assuming this is my partner. And for podcast listeners, I'm grabbing the mic here and trying to represent the mic as a human body. Sounds weird. Anyways, basically, like grab your partner. And I want you to sniff her cheeks, her nose, and her lips, because you know how they get very close to, like, assuming this is the partner, and they're like, and then in that moment, it's a really messed up thing to do. But then I'm like, pretend like you're sniffing cocaine.
What?
Not that I've done that.
I don't think I've ever seen you heard you say that.
What do you mean?
By shooting with the cocaine part.
Oh, I'd be like, snort that shit, no?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, snort that shit. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right, yeah. Anyways. And so some grooms seem to be really good at that.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Some grooms pull out a banknote, roll it up and start sniffing their partner. If only.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes when I say things like sniff that shit, snort it, like you're snorting cocaine, we're laughing at it. So they're hopefully bound to laugh at it. But it produces an organic reaction, right? Now, mind you, the bride's probably at this point going, what the F's going on? But then imagine, and I encourage couples to try this. If you're sitting at home, on the couch, bride and grooms or boyfriends and girlfriends, or, I encourage you, gentlemen, to smell your partner and just to see what reaction it brings. And if they laugh, you can like this comment and comment.
Any divorces that happen after you listen to this and you do that shit, we just want to say we don't take any responsibility, legally for this.
But if you want to express your hate for that, for engagement and algorithmic purposes, you should still comment down below.
Just talk a bunch of shit in the comments. I don't care.
That'd be great. I think that'd be wonderful.
Sounds good.
But yeah, snorting or smelling your partner.
I'm going to tell you one more thing. The third thing that I've seen you do.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
What's this? I haven't wrote this down.
Is make sheep noises.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
This guy does some weird shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm contemplating why was she...
Okay, I've done some weird stuff. Yeah. So the sheep noise is random. I don't know how that came about.
This is like me taking a video shot of someone and you just like over my shoulder just going, meh.
Nah, it's usually higher pitch. Like, and it's shorter.
Yeah.
But it just everyone's so serious. Like you're taking a video shot, I'm taking a photo shot. Couple of loving, like they're all smiling.
I think that
and then out of nowhere, like what is that?
The main trend that we're talking about is literally just catching couples off guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're not really expecting you to do something weird, and because you do something weird, it makes them laugh, which in turn you capture more natural looking photos because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are couples that we meet who, I think we've both established clientele who are like, oh, we love the editorial content, right? We love the pose stuff. We love the serious, dramatic content. And that's fine. Like, that's awesome. But then there are a couple who are very opposite to that who go, oh, we actually don't want any of that stuff. And we want pure candids.
And
I get it. Like, in ideal scenario.
I still do pose stuff, even if they tell me
100%.
That they want candids, because what you'll notice is like, 10, 20 years down the line, if you only have candid shots in your wedding album, like there's not really like stuff that you can just print and put on the wall. Like a lot of, like those family photos that you just want to print and put on the wall, or just like the couple looking at the camera. Like even if a couple will tell me to do candids like purely, I'll still make sure that 10 or 20% of that, I actually get some editorial stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Like every couple that told me that, oh, we love candids more than natural looking photos, I always have a conversation where I'm guiding them to go, actually, look, the realistic side of photography is you're going to get both, right? Yep. You're going to get parts where we have our creative flair that shows you the editorial stuff, the serious stuff, the pose stuff. And then we're going to have a combination of that's going to be also candid. But even around the word posed, right? Like, oh, no, not too much posy. But think about it. If I'm telling you to walk up and down this, like, I don't know, a beach or whatever, on sunset, looking at your partner holding hands and smiling, one could argue you're instructing, you're guiding that, you're like orchestrating it. So technically, one would say that's posed.
Yeah.
But the reality of that is that that's actually so candid when you're actually executing. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people get caught up with the whole like wording of how they want it to be.
Yeah, because I think what people most think about what a pose shot is, literally just looking into the camera next to each other, not smiling, very serious. Like that kind of vibe is when people think is posed, or like someone just, sitting down, the other person standing behind them, put their hands on their shoulders. Like, those kind of photos that you see like in like our parents, for example, like how their wedding albums and stuff. Like I think that's the literal definition of what people think posed is.
A very traditional
definition. Yeah. But I think also it's the one thing that comes to mind is it's really important to make couples comfortable around you, because we are usually there from the start of the day, every time we shoot a wedding, to the last person who the bride and groom see at night.
We're the only vendor.
Right? We're the only vendor.
We're the only vendor. Correct.
So if you actually build like a good rapport with the couple, if you're really, joking around with them, relaxed, they're very comfortable around you. Yeah. It makes the whole process like so much more easier.
I agree.
Throughout the whole day.
I agree. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, right, do you really want someone who is a 45-year-old or 50-year-old, to no disrespect to anyone in that age.
Or even young.
Or even
young. You can even young. Yeah. I think the age doesn't really have. It's more someone who's just very like serious.
Yeah. Do you really want someone who's supposed to capture the most happiest moments of your life, who's not exactly the most funnest to be around? Like, how does one exist with the other? It really doesn't. Right? Like, you need someone who...
And no disrespect to the people that are like that. I'm sure there are some amazing photographers out there who don't joke around with the couples at all, who will just mainly just focus on getting, the best shots they can. But I still think, like, they might not realize it, but they could get better if they did joke around with the couple, did make them more comfortable. Yeah.
Like,
there's always that room for improvement.
This conversation for me overlaps with the whole concept of introvert, extrovert. Right? Because if you ask yourself or myself, are we introvert or extroverted people? I think we rise to the occasion when we know we have to be.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what would I do on a weekend, I'd much rather stay at home because I'm constantly out all the time. Yeah. And, all of this stuff, by the way, that we've just referenced here, we didn't start, I don't know about you, but I didn't start photography knowing these things. Like, I got into that. Yep. Like, I started knowing...
Oh, bro, you should see some of the old shots I used to take back in the day. I had no clue. I was just like... to be honest, before even as you get into your career, you look at other photos that you really like, and then you want to kind of try to imitate them. Something that you liked about a certain photo, you're like, oh, I want to take a photo like that. But bro, when I started, I wasn't even doing that. I was just doing the most randomest shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, most randomest shit.
Yeah,
but as I've gotten more and more into the mature part of my business, I think one thing definitely that helps me at least is to save a lot of photos that I've seen like on Insta and stuff like that I really like, and then I'll be like, how can I create my version of that? Like not really just copying it like, you know, like by 100%, but more like how does this work for me and my couples, and also how can I even make it better?
It's your adaptation of it, right? Like you'll see something that's funny or like that's candid, but you're like, okay, how would I do it first of all in my way? But then what do I have to do that? Right? And I think that's the part where a lot of photographers sometimes get really concerned about is I might not be I might not be a comedian, right? I might not be, but there are little things that you could probably do in your photo shoot session on the wedding day that just helps bring out that authenticity, that, you know, humorous side that helps a couple to relax. Because bruh, like you don't want someone who's just dry, boring, that can't make you like, you can't really have, like picture us not as photographers, as just mates. Like would you not laugh if your mate said a joke? I'd like to hope so. Unless the joke was shit.
Fair. Yeah. And that goes back to the whole introvert extrovert thing, where I feel like I am generally more of an introvert person from my day-to-day life, but you have to get out of your shell and be more extrovert when you're shooting and when you're in the workplace, especially the type of work we do.
The other part that I want to comment on here is it takes two to tango. And what I mean by that is your photographer might be the actual, like the comedian on the day. They actually might be a really funny person. And I'm sure we've seen a whole bunch of TikTok and Reels about photographers just doing random shit, right? And I'm, you know, probably save that and review it for another video another day. But what I mean by it takes two to tango is the fact that I'm an energies person. I like that juju vibes. I don't know about you, Manav. Are you an energy person? Like the word energy, does that resonate with you?
Not really. I get what you mean. I think you're definitely more than me.
I'm more of a like energy. Like, what is this person making me feel? I'm in tune with my feelings. Sure. We can talk about that another episode. But what I mean by that is, if I'm doing these things to try and make you laugh and to have this like energy, this banter with you, I also think it goes both ways, right? And I think a couple who want that wonderful experience have to also bring a positive energy to the environment, because some couples who I meet, 9 times out of 10, they're pretty happy, they're pretty good. But the one or two couples who are just like, let's just get this over and done with. You're already knowing them right mindset.
I was literally about to say that. What if you come across a couple who just won't laugh and they just...
It happened to me once.
Did it?
Yeah. And it was it's very rare. It was a Shaadi.com couple. And for those of you who aren't South Asian who don't know what Shaadi.com is, it's basically like a wedding matrimonial website. But it's very traditional in the sense that like parents create a lot of bios for a whole bunch of their kids. And when I mean kids, I mean adults, not like 5-year-olds. Just for context. And
I don't think anyone was thinking 5-year-olds.
No, but you know how like arranged marriages, where it was a concept where back in the day, kids would get arranged before they're, you know, not to that extremity. But anyways,
we're in 2024 now. Anyways, back to the point.
But and then people literally have met within 6 months and decided to get married. Now, those are the couples I'm very concerned about, because I've shot a arranged marriage couple once, and I was pulling everything out of the book. I was making that sex noises. I was trying to get him to bite her ear and everything. Mind you, it didn't work for shit because they didn't even know each other. How the F do you expect them to laugh at my jokes, right? Have you ever had something similar where you're like...
I did a couple once, and it was so hard to photograph them. This is like I think 3-4 years ago. I did one like very similar arranged marriage couple. Oh
no.
It's so
Did they
hard,
ever come back to you and go, do you have any more photos of us laughing?
Never heard back from them again.
It's interesting because this is where it takes two to tango actually makes a difference. Like if you're a couple that, first of all, you should hopefully know your partner before you marry them. So there's already comfort there. But if you're someone who's like, who barely knows, you know, what they're getting themselves into, at least have the notion of going, okay, well, I want to bring a particular energy into this, which means that, I'm going to have to talk to my photographer. I want to maybe get to know them a little bit on a personal front. You know, this is why
But you know what? Like a lot of people don't even know what to expect on a wedding day. Right? Like like what we're talking about is like couples that are like self-aware, they've done a lot of research, that kind of stuff. But if your parent made a like profile for your Shaadi.com, like what do you even like? How do you even like think about this kind of stuff?
Well, then,
at all, right?
then I think as business owners, now the onus comes up to us. Do we take the client in the first place? And this comes down to maybe just vetting who these people are, and that's
and mind you, these couples we're not saying like, there's something wrong with these
No, of
couples
course
or
not.
anything like that. Like they could be like the most
Wonderful people in the world. Yeah,
and stuff.
sure.
But maybe they're not the right fit for us as a business, right? Because we want to work with couples who resonate with us.
Yeah.
That should be the main goal for every photographer. You work with couples that are gonna have fun with you. You're gonna have fun with them. You're gonna create a amazing product together.
And I think simple things as going like, attitude, right? Like I think I get a bit discouraged when a groom, and I know not a lot of grooms don't like photos, but a lot of grooms are like, oh, let's just get this shit over and done with.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, this is supposed to be like, the day of your life. At least put a bit of effort, right?
Yeah.
Which means that bring an attitude that you're receptive to hear these jokes.
And you'll generally tend to see that brides always have a better and more
100%.
than
More
grooms.
brides
Yeah,
are like,
yeah.
no, babe, no, please. Like, let's just do it. It'll be really fun. Not that brides talk like that. but I think more brides are more receptive to the energy, to the charisma that we bring, to the attitude that we bring more than more grooms. And I think it takes two to tango is where both parties are equally present.
Yeah.
And I think these jokes do go a long way, and they do make an impact when, we learn, sex noises or biting ear parts or whatever, or sniffing your partner's cheek. The other one I just thought of, and it's simple. It's just, it's a genius. No, actually, it's just very normal. Yeah. Tickling your partner. Yeah. Like, if you can't laugh at a joke, hopefully you can. But if you can't laugh at a joke, surely you can laugh at your partner.
At the same time, I feel like our sense of humor is very fucked up. It's very dark and fucked up. Like the kind of if it was up to us, the kind of jokes we would make on a wedding day, I'd be banned, bro. I would be banned.
We'd be cancelled.
We'd be cancelled.
Yeah. This
first episode cancelled.
Cancelled.
Go on.
Yeah. I know that off camera, mine was very interesting. What I mean by interesting is you have acquired. It's like wine.
If you put it that way, that sounds very good, but I don't think it's supposed to be like that.
Okay. I'm trying to give you benefit of the doubt here for the listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
But it's like not everyone's going to resonate with your humor.
Yeah.
But then,
I tend to be on the more not politically correct side when I do all my jokes, or I'll talk about anything.
We made it a point to mention we should be a bit PC for this podcast. So viewers, be proud that we're attempting this.
Yeah, we're really holding back right now.
Yeah. No, we're doing all right.
Nah.
But I think, what was I going with this? I can't remember.
The grooms that are not talking much.
Oh, yeah. Like, grooms aren't talking too much. Brides are, which makes it easier. That was it. The tickling thing. Like, okay, so maybe you're not Manav's type of person to laugh at his jokes. Maybe. I'm just giving you an example here. Or mine. Maybe my sex noises offend you, which for arguable reasons is understandable as to why.
Hold that thought for a second, because this guy literally, we shot a wedding in Italy. This just comes to my mind.
Oh, no.
And not only doing sex noises, not only doing sex noises with the couple while we were doing the location shoot or post-wedding shoot. This guy pulled his stunt in the middle of a reception. Let me put this in context, right? So this is the bride giving a speech, or the groom giving a speech. I know which it was. They're giving the speech, and generally they tend to thank the vendors, thank you to the caterer. And then as soon as the groom or the bride, whoever it was, said, we want to thank Karthik and Manav, and all you hear from the back, this guy's not even on the dance floor anyway. He's literally behind somewhere 5-10 meters away. And I'm just next to a video camera, just standing on a tripod. And all I hear in the back is can I get a higher? Literally in the middle of a reception. And I just thought at that point, I'm like, Karthik, calm the fuck down. I just thought I'm happy with you doing this shit.
Yeah, I really pushed
when
it
you're with the couple. Don't do this in the middle of reception.
I just thought that. Look, I got excited.
Mind you, everyone just started cracking up. It was fine. It was fine. The couple were very chill.
I'd be humiliated if no one laughed.
Imagine no one laughed at that.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
I would just walk off. I would be like, I'm done.
Format card out. I'm out. I think what it is it comes with a level of self-awareness sometimes. I'm not saying sometimes to go if something will land. Do I go into every couple photo shoot making sex noises knowing that it's going to land?
Yep.
Yeah. Look,
yep.
Most of the time.
Now what? Stop trying to be all smart and shit.
No. Look, okay. No, I'll tell you. You'll agree with me. Okay. No joke. You'll agree with me. I'm not busting out the weird shit in 5 seconds. I'm not. Don't argue with me. I'm not. I admit it. I'm not. No. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not.
Okay.
I'm doing the simple things. Hey guys, let's just hold hands, walk and talk. What we just discussed.
Yeah.
I'm busting out the witch. It's like going on a date.
It's like you ramp it up as the day
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
along.
yeah. It's like if I'm on a date with someone, I don't want the chick to go, this guy's freaking weird.
Mm.
I'd like to show them a normal side of me first, and then bring her.
What would that look like? So imagine I'm on a date with you right now.
So you're
right?
you're
I'm
the chick?
Yeah, yeah. How would you start the conversation?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good. What about you?
Great. We'll bring. Do you like fish?
All right. Now, if this conversation had to be in a weird way, and you want to give an example of what not to do on the first conversation. Now I'm the chick, and this is the first date.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. So, fish in the bedroom. What are your thoughts? do you see what I mean? There's elevations to this, right? There's tiers to this. So, am I going into a couple shoot that of someone I've never met before, maybe had a phone call conversation during an online consult, and am I making sex noises at the start? No, I'm really not. But at the end of the day, I'm going to judge the couple and suss out if this is something that I can do based on the rapport that we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there are some grooms who beat me to the weirdness scale all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Maybe some
you're surprised.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, wow, that just caught me off guard.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are some really important tips that, I mean, just off the top of my head, that I know that we've come up with.
Yeah.
That maybe photographers who are listening to this, videographers who are listening to this, you guys can use and go, oh, actually, I've never thought about it that way. But rule of thumb, the weirder you are, the more funnier things are.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of saying it, right?
Yeah. Imagine someone gets cancelled because they followed this. They start making sexual noises with the couple.
End up in jail.
And you just end up with like a wrong couple.
Yep.
The guy just like punches you in the face or something.
Which is why I think self-awareness comes into to play here.
Yeah.
Like, would I do this shit on a very, very, very conservative couple?
No.
Like traditionally.
Although I've seen you do it, but no. I've seen you do shit.
Maybe,
with,
you know what? Maybe I'll do it at the end of the shoot where I know I can get away with it. Like the whole day's
do
gone.
it, just run away.
Yeah, do it, run away, see you later. Maybe I probably could.
But definitely like the main moral of this whole thing is basically make your couples feel relaxed. Have fun on the wedding day, which is the most important thing. Because if you're going to be shooting with someone for like 15, 16 hours a day and you're miserable, then maybe you're in the wrong profession.
Yeah, like this is why consult calls are so important to have, because in that time, you got to suss out, like, do we actually get along with these people? Like, when you do Zoom calls with a client, of course you're joking around, right? Like, you're mucking around and all this shit. Like, you know,
and mind you, it might be like vice versa. They might not get along with us because they think we're weird as well. So it just doesn't go one way that we're like rejecting clients because they're not fun or whatever.
Like
that's not the point.
The choice is both mutual, right? Like,
Yeah.
the couple make a choice to proceed forward with the photographer, and the photographer videographer make a choice to proceed forward with the couple.
Yeah.
But in the consult stages, you're both sussing out each other. Are we the right fit?
Yeah.
Are these someone that I can make a sex noise with?
And mind you, this whole thing that we're talking about here, where you're the right fit, only comes like in the later stage of your business where you are. But where you have a lot of leads coming in all the time. Like if you're starting out or maybe in your second, third, fourth year of your business, then you pretty much have to take what you get,
so maybe
right?
for your first ever couple photo shoot.
Yeah,
maybe
don't do this shit.
Don't do this shit.
If you're starting out, don't do this
Don't
shit.
do this shit. Maybe don't make sex noises is what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah.
But
The whole like choosing if the couple is the right fit for you does come later down the line. When
Correct.
imagine you're getting like, 20, 30, 40 leads every month where, regardless of if you don't gel with a certain couple and you guys, turn each other down, or you just decide not to go ahead with in whatever way, that you are going to get another couple for the same dates.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
But if you guys enjoyed this episode, or maybe you have tips that we don't
Maybe
even
you
know.
didn't enjoy it as well. So let us know regarding that as well.
We're laughing, so it's a good one.
Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
you
we
guys,
just laugh at anything.
Yeah,
together,
it's also
so,
very true. We're pretty
true.
stupid half the time.
Yeah.
But maybe you guys have some tips that we didn't actually know that maybe we could hear about. So
And
comment.
some photographer might be watching this who's been doing this for way longer than us, right? And they might have a tip to give to us.
Correct.
So we'd be keen to hear that out as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But comment down in the section below. Like if you found this video enjoyable. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys.
Please subscribe.
Hiya. Hiya. Oh, right there. Yeah.
Come down.